feel really good. I feel really good. Yeah. Feel good just to be out there in the huddle with the boys, kind of going full speed now, and it's been a long time coming. I've been cleared for a while, and so just to actually get that and going out, oh man, it's awesome. The huddle has never been better. Just like the connection and the chemistry and the camaraderie that we have. So I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm excited.
What you learn about the game, your offense, or whatever, in your downtime? You know, you couldn't do anything physically, but you had all that time mentally. What did you focus on?
It honestly, obviously I'm watching us play, I'm watching how defenses react to what we're doing, but I also watch tight ends from around the league, what they're doing. And that was the biggest thing. You know, when we're playing, if we have a 1:00 game, we get done, say it's 4 something, whatever, you get to watch maybe like the second half of a game, and then, you got the night games, whatever. But here I got to, I didn't know I had NFL package. I could watch Red Zone. I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. Like I can analyze everything. And so that was nice to be able to further my film review in that and see how, certain tight ends like Kittle, Kelsey, Ingram, TJ, like tight ends from around the league. It was great for me to be able to see, okay, nice, like wide 9 technique. How are they going to block this? What are they going to do? How's their tackle going to help them out or certain things like that. So that was my main focus, was seeing what worked and what didn't work for other tight ends playing against people that we're going to playing against guys in the division, and then just in general, really good players.
How you were taking that? Did you take notes?
No, you just rewind, keep a mental note, and when we're going against guys out here right now, and that this is the time you get to practice. We got to do the tight end U thing. I got to pick their brain a little bit more with that, and same likewise with them to me. And now it's just going out and like, okay, nice. Like it wasn't everything, right? It's like, all right, nice. Like wide 9, I'm not gonna do this, and this, but oh, nice. I'm gonna try that, or I'm gonna try that, and incorporate what I already do to that, and get to try it out on Trey and Sam, and they're not really liking some of the things, so I know it's going to work.
Is there any tight end in the league that you look at that that kind of fits what you do? Is there any guy you A-team or any guy that you say, yeah, that's kind of I can go off of that?
Yeah, I like to consider myself a little unique. But there's just certain things about everyone that I kind of want to pick a little bit, right? It's like Travis Kelce's routes, the way he runs them. I don't know if you guys know this or not. When I watched Travis initially, I'm like, wow, this guy's just doing his own thing. He's on his own program. It doesn't even matter. He's just running across the field. But the way he describes it, the way he looks at the defense, the way he analyzes how he's going to run a certain route against a certain defense, if it's zone, he's going to attack certain players. It really opens your eyes to be able to think and look at things the way they're looking at it. Blocking, Kittle, being able to hear and listen to how he is thinking about a tight, if we got a 6 or a tight 9, a wide 9, if we got this play, that play, whatever it is, being able just to talk to them about that was nice. But I don't know, all of them wrapped into one.
Is there anything about your Achilles you're still wondering about or testing?
Not at all. To be honest, no. Once the doctor said I was 100%, to me, in my head, any doubt just went away. I was like, all right, well, if he says I'm 100%, there's no need to be ginger on it. If I'm ginger on it, I'm gonna hurt something else. So I went out the next day and just ran full speed and started cutting. He's right. It's 100%. I'm good.
You and Kelsey both played quarterback in high school. How much does that commonality influence how you trust him? He's looking at coverages and all that sort of thing with his football IQ.
Yeah.
Similar there?
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing, big picture. Being able to, I'm like, oh, nice. He understands this is going to be the quarterback's progression. If it's a 3-by-1, we have the backside and it's a dig, for instance. And it's like, okay, nice. If it's this coverage, we might be the second progression as opposed to the fourth. And he knows that, and he's like, all right, nice. So in this instance, I can speed my timing up a little bit. I can cut a little bit short if I need to. Or if I'm the fourth progression, I can work him a little more. I can give him a corner. I can make it sell like I'm vertical and stem inside, or stem outside, sell vertical, cut inside, and be late and be in that window that is going to be provided by the other concept backside or play side. So just things like that. It's like, oh, nice. You get to playing quarterback. You don't think about, all right, nice. This play, I have this route. This is the entire concept. This is what we're trying to do to the defense, and this is how it's going to help either get my buddy open or get me open third, fourth progression.
What's the biggest difference you've seen in this camp compared to last year?
man, slinging the ball. I don't know how many of you guys have said this, but he's gotten strong. There's some zip in that I didn't really. I mean, I played for two games, but being there in the offseason with him, going through that rehab process, and then being on the field now, that thing is humming at you really, really quick. So that's one thing that I've noticed. The windows that are kind of tight, the ball's still getting on you. And I guess the main thing right now, obviously the defense, we're doing certain installs and things, but we're just humming on offense in general. We're clicking in a way that I didn't really completely see last year. I'm like, oh wow, we got pieces now. We're running all cylinders.
So much talk, CJ, about the receiving corps. Joe Mixon is the running back.
Yep.
How much have you and Joe Burrow talked about how big a role you can have and Drew can have? The tight end group, how big of a role can you guys have?
We don't even need to say it. We just know. Like every day in practice, we're like, all right, nice. We got freaks on the outside. We got one of the most under talked about receivers in TB in the slot that people have to focus on. I legitimately am looking around like, wow, this is going to be great for me. I get one-on-one matchup pretty much every single time probably. So if I just work this, or again, knowing the concept of the play, knowing what the defense is doing, I'm just like, well, Joe, I'm going to be there no matter what. Drew's going to be there no matter what. The tight ends are going to be there if it's first progression, second progression, whatever the case is. We know. After a practice, we're like, wow, tight ends just got like 15 balls in this period. Like, what's up? So.
But Frank being the run game coordinator.
Beast. You have any questions?
You can elaborate.
Yeah, no, he's a monster. Are you kidding me? I love Frank. Not just because he loves tight ends, but I love him as a coach. What he's instilling on the offensive line right now is, it's ridiculous. Having Riley there too, having that presence, I just got chills, man. Honestly, Riley, I love Riley too. I love Frank and Riley. I love our whole offensive line, but those two, like being next to Riley and just, he's listening to the play, but he'll just stare at me, smiling. I'm like, dude, I gotta focus a little bit. You just hear one word and you know what to do. But no, he's getting after him. Every day I'm looking at their individual period, like, dang, like they're getting after it, and it shows. When we're out there practicing, it shows. And if one person kind of messes up on one player, they take a wrong step, they're hearing it, and that's what's necessary. That's what you need to be a great team. You need to know that if you make one false move, one misstep, plays getting blown up, and we're not having a positive game. We just need to give Joe a little bit of room. Sometimes he doesn't even need a little bit of room, but if he just gets a little bit of room, he's out the gate. So that's kind of, it's, again, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm excited to have him.
Since kind of the emphasis in the run game is a run game getting a little bit more.
Yeah, it's necessary. It's necessary in our offense. We need to be able to run the ball to open up Jamar, to open up T, to open up TB, me, Drew, anybody, Auden. So yeah, it's that is our staple. That's what we want. We want to come out there and for teams to be like, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a physical matchup that we know they're going to try to run the ball down our throats. We're going to be able to do it and open up. It just opens up the playbook immensely.
CJ, you talked about seeing the big picture stuff. Was there an aha moment when the big picture ball came on for you, or has it been a progression?
Yeah, I think it's still a progression. I think because now it became certain defenders play certain coverages a different way, right? So now I get to look at, it's like, all right, nice. Cover 3 is cover 3. No matter who, no matter what, the structure is going to be cover 3. But it's okay, nice. How's this safety going to play? How's this linebacker going to play? How are they going to pass it off if we're stacked, if we're in a bunch, if we're spread out wide? And that's the thing that's, again, it's an ever learning process. That's why I love football so much, because you can learn something from a different player. Week 1 to week 2, week 17, 18, doesn't matter what it is. Certain players are going to play it differently, and you have to be able to adjust off of that. So that's the learning process still to this day that I'm going through. But as opposed to whole big picture, what should be there, that kind of came somewhat easy. Again, being able to analyze stuff, but yeah, it's just player on player now.
What have you learned about that? Being in the room with him, his dad, all of it. What have you learned?
He's a quiet killer. He doesn't talk too much. He asks questions that need to be asked. It's not like I'm going to ask this question, I kind of know the answer already, but I just want to be heard. He talks when it's necessary. That's kind of what you want from a newer player, younger guy. For me personally, I did the same thing. I'm not saying a word to anybody unless I like need to know an answer. And but he's telling me certain things about Jamar and Joe. Being their teammates. He's going to do this. He's going to put it here if the defender's here, stuff like that. He's a good player. I'm excited to see him with pads on for sure. All this talk is nice when it's just helmets and spiders, but I'm excited to see him get after it in full pads.
CJ, judging by everything we saw on social from tight end, you looked like a pretty good time.
Yep.
What percentage of your memories from there were like hanging out with everybody and just kind of meeting everybody that much closer, and the actual versus like the actual football of what you enjoyed out of it?
Yeah, it was it started off hot. I'll say that. But no, it was a lot of meetings. It was a lot of meetings and a lot of getting to know people through the meetings as well, right? So someone like Darren Waller, hearing his story and then being able to dissect and analyze how he runs certain routes, certain ways, and you gotta pick certain things out. Like I think being there with Drew too helped. It was nice because then we got to bounce ideas back off of one another. I'd give it like 70-30, 70 being, meetings and being able to analyze, pick people's brains and retain information, and 30 just hanging out with the boys, having a good time, which I think is a good balance, especially, right coming off of mini camp and things like that. But yeah, it was a good time.
What has this year kind of getting used to how the changing targets of COVID and everybody kind of getting used to it been like for you guys? And like, because most years with players and the PA, it's sort of like, it's just very natural. You mentioned the PA before online. I don't know, like, what you feel like about if that's been hard to get a grip on what you expect coming down the pike every week, or do you feel like you have a good feel for what the season's going to look like?
No shot. Not even close. I'll say this: it's great to see people in like person to person for sure. I mean, look, I know this is like it's a really big topic. It's affecting a lot of people and stuff like that. Things of that nature. It's not. I don't want to downplay it by any means. It's just they say something and we're just like, all right, I guess we got to do this now. Or all right, I guess this is another stipulation, and it'd be nice for sure just to have a set. This is how it's going to be, which is why the things that I've said, because I don't really feel like it's necessary just to keep changing certain things and adding certain things and implementing certain things where you're just like, you said it's going to be this, keep it at that. I know it's a big deal, different variants coming out, things of that nature. I'm not trying to downplay it, but just keep it one way. Let us just take care of it from there.
What was the new thing Friday night prompted this week?
Just certain things, man. I don't want to get. I'm not trying to get in trouble. Emily's over here looking at me like, "What is he gonna say?" No, it's just it's just if you're gonna say something, keep it that way. Please keep it that way.
You were wildly optimistic in your.
Start over, sorry.
You were wildly optimistic in your speech to the fans on Back Together Saturday. Where does that optimism stem from? I mean, do you truly believe that you've got?
Yeah. I'm going to say this too. Do I believe that? Hell yes, 100%. Yeah, that is. If you don't believe that in our locker room, then you shouldn't be in our locker room, because the pieces that we have, the way that we've been practicing, the way we're flying up, both sides, all three phases, special teams, we got a long way to go for sure. Darren's going to get after us. Offensive and defensively, same. But with what we've got and what we've shown each other that we've got, there's no reason why everything that I said shouldn't come true. Now, does that put more pressure on us? 100%. Talked to Coach right afterwards, and he was like, "Oh, nice, a lot of pressure." And I was like, "Hey," the first thing I said was, "Pressure makes diamonds, and diamonds are on rings, so we got to get a ring." He kind of liked that. I'm gonna coin that TM. But yeah, I mean, why not? Legitimately, why not? Being able to. And I know I've talked to, I don't know how many of you were in the meeting where I was talking about Chelsea, but, their mantra was, why not us? Why not us? We've got the pieces. We've gone out. We've got coaches that are telling us what to do. We've got guys that have been in the system for long enough now to know exactly how to do things. we just got to go out there and do what we need to do day in, day out, week in, week out, game in, and the sky's the limit for this team.
CJ, you always gotta have to convince yourself of that. I imagine as a pro athlete, every year you have a chance, otherwise, why are you showing up?
Exactly.
Do you sense though the expectations are different inside the building right now?
Yeah, I don't think we're not seeing it really as an expectation though, is the thing, which I think is helping with the mental aspect, right? Like expectations, if you have that, then obviously like I expect to be a Pro Bowl tight end every single year. That is my goal for myself, because I know that if I do that, then that's helping the team for the most part, right? Like usually there's not a whole lot of just really good players that are just like, oh, I'm the best ever, like boom, and then your team sucks. It happens, but that is the goal of every single player. But when you have too many expectations as a team, it kind of weighs you down. You're like, oh man, if we don't put up 60, then like, what are we doing out here? No, that's not the case. We just know in our head, we're confident in ourselves. Like, all right, nice. Like, we've got a squad. We know what we can do. Let's go out there and do it.
CJ, it's year 7 for you. There aren't many guys with more seniority at this point. Was it really strange to show up this year with all these guys that you played with gone now? And secondly, is there kind of a responsibility that goes with that kind of tenure?
Yeah, I'm old. I mean, this is reckless. Like, there's guys born in 2000 on the team. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is like we're the '90s kids here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it holds merit being a little bit older for sure, and kind of being a leader on the team and holding that leadership role and being a little more vocal for sure. But I don't know. I've been this way for a while now, so I don't really see. The only difference is the tight ends are asking me a lot of questions, and I'm getting texts random times at night like, dude, what did you just ask me? Like, but it's good. It's good. I'm glad that they can come to me with questions for sure. I think that's a part of the team chemistry, the team camaraderie that, again, in the past might not have been there. You might not feel comfortable asking a player, another guy, like, hey, what do I have on this? Like, if this is going on, like, what do I do on here? Like, nice, all right, I'll give you the answer. If you ask me a few times, I'm like, dude, write it down. Like, make yourself a note. But yeah, I think that's kind of like where I stand on being old.
How would you compare the locker room mix, camaraderie, whatever you want to call it, than the previous 7 years? So how do you
Yeah, I mean, there's not like a bashing on how it was. I think I'll say this too. I think with everyone being able to be together in the locker room again, that definitely helps, because now we can just shoot the crap to one another and like play game, like, do certain things. But it's a back and forth banter now, as opposed to I'm gonna say something and then you're gonna take it personal, and then we're gonna be. Now it's like, oh, can I talk to you again? Can I not talk to you again? Like, how's it gonna be at practice? You're gonna throw a punch? Like, are we gonna get in a little scrap right now? What's up? Now I can kind of mess with Trey and be out there at practice, and then nothing's gonna happen. It's all right, nice. I'm gonna get in his head a little bit, see what happens at practice, kind of get the best out of him, and then we go back to the locker room and then we just talk. What's up, man? How's it going? How you feeling? Like, how's your wife? How's moving into the new place 100 yards from me? Type stuff. So it's just things like that. I mean, this is the NFL. It's your job, right? It's not college anymore. It's not high school. But now I feel like we have that chemistry in the locker room. I think that plays a big role in being successful.
Is that Trey Wayne?
I was talking about Hendrickson. I'll mess with Trey. Hey, it's fine. Trey will be fine. Trey Wayne's will be fine.